Hi, welcome back to my hi everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So we said we'll be talking about time intelligence formulas, and before we go into time intelligence formulas, we were able to do some pillar measures. We were able to bring in total sales. Now we'll be using total sales going forward in our calculation. So let's go into time intelligence. So if you want to do what are time intelligence formulas? Time intelligence formulas are formulas that calculate time periodic analysis. So you're talking about previous year, previous month, year to date. So calculations like that, and we'll be going into some of the calculations, and I'll be sharing a link down for you to see some of the DAX calculation when it comes to time intelligence function that we use in Power BI. Now I'll bring in a table. I want to bring in a table, and I'm going to bring in dates, and this time I won't bring in sales of our implicit measure. I'll bring in explicit measure sales, and this is it. So right now I want to be able to, let's say we want to have only year and month, and now we want to calculate. Now this metric has been filtered by year and month, and simple as that is means filter context. Filter context is when a metric is being filtered by one or two or three categories, any categories that a metric is being filtered by. So now let's calculate. I'm going to go to new measure, and anytime that you want to modify a filter context, the formula that you're going to use is called calculate function. So now let's calculate something called previous month. Let's calculate previous month. Now, if we are calculating previous month, it means that we want, whereby when we have October 2013, it should be giving us September 2013 values, and every month should be giving us the previous month value. That is the whole thing. So now remember, which function helps us modify a filter context? We say calculate function. See, it helps us modify it. Any context that we modify by filters, we want to still modify them again. So now we have our expression. Our expression is now total sales. Now remember, if we say we want to pick sales, let's assume we want to pick sales. Is it possible to pick only sales? Notice, it's not possible to pick sales. So we just have only total sales. So now this total sales is what we are going to be picking, and when we pick in total sales, then we are going to put comma. So, and you have to notice your syntax. So calculate, open bracket, expression, your total sales, then filter. Filter means now what are we trying to do? What are we trying to filter by? So what are we trying to do? Now remember, we want to do previous month. So let's look for month, anything month. So you see the different months that we have. So we have something called previous month. Now I want also to do previous. So you see previous day, previous month, previous quarter, previous year. So now remember which one we want to do. We want to do previous month. And now date, we want to go and take our dates. Now we have to reference a date. Remember, we are referencing something. We want to reference a date. In calculate, we first reference our expression, which is total sales. Then our previous month, now want to reference the date. So now let's go and reference the date. So we come here and we reference this date, and we close bracket and two bracket ties, and we click enter. So now hopefully it should work out, and we click previous month. Okay, it didn't work. Why? So now the reason why it didn't work is because in Power BI you need a date table, and that will lead us into explaining what we have as called the calculated tables and the calculated columns. So this video will be a little bit long, but it's something that you need to understand why there is this issue. So now we have to calculate. You have to create calculated table for the date table. You can do it in your Power Query, or you can even import it with that. Maybe it's an Excel file or a CSV file, or you use DAX to do that. So we'll be using DAX. to create it. And right now we have new table, and we have to create a table itself, which is called called the calendar. So let's call it calendar. We do equals to. Now, what is the calendar? So there are different ways we can use. We have the calculated calendar, two different ways, calendar and calendar auto. I will be using calendar auto. That's what I'm going to be using. Then the fiscal year end month means that when is your end month. So if you don't put anything, it means that you are using your normal January to December. If you put in 1, it means that you're starting from February. If you put in 2, it means you're starting from March. So this time I'll just not put anything. It means I'm starting from January. Now, one good thing again about having your date table is that there are no mistakes. It's just automated. So either you make sales or you not make sales on any day, it's just there. So it encompasses every day of the whole year. So it's important for you to have it, because you need to also reference it. So now let's go on and create a calculated column. Now when we click new column, now let's say we want to add want to extract month from there. Want to extract month name from there. So we have month, and what is our month? So we use our format function and we write our calendar dates, and we open brackets, and we have our double quotes, and we're going to use it, and we close the bracket. So you can see for that, and we can add more columns as we wish. So let's add 2 more columns for this, and we have our month number. Our month number equals to, then right now they will now do our months. So these are month number so you're going to see why we're using our month number, and you're going to see it also going forward. Click enter, and let's bring in here. And we click here. Click here, and we do here equals to the date. Pick the date, and we click close bracket. Okay, so now I want you to try and see if you can do quarter, and put in quarter as a new column, and we'll see in the next video, in the continuation of time intelligence measure.